This tutorial will talk about how to import audio into Flash. Now, it's quite the process, and Flash isn't great about exporting audio too, especially with Swifts. There's a lot of problems with it. So I would never actually export a finished project in Flash that had audio, like with a Swift. I would bring it into Premiere or something else and do my audio in there. But for syncing audio to lips or movements, you would need to have it in Flash. So this is the process. The first thing you need is a 16-bit audio file. Flash won't accept 32-bit audio files, so you may have to go into an audio editor and convert it down to 16-bit. It also seems to do the best with like 11 kilohertz or 22 or 44 sampling rates. So once you have an audio file that is like that, we need to import it into the library. And so our library, we can come here to File, Import, and then Import to Library, which is off of the screen right now, of course. Or I think it's easier just to pick it up and drag it. So if I have a file here, I can just pick it up and drag it right into the library, and then it'll be visible. If it gives you a problem, it's most likely because it's 32-bit. I should be able to click on it here and see the waveform.
Adventure.
And for audio, I put different audio tracks on separate layers because audio should never be on the same layer as something that you're drawing, and it's also very confusing to have multiple audio tracks on the same layer. Audio tracks begin when a keyframe exists. So what I want to do is create a new keyframe right here. I'm going to create a new layer, and that gives me a new layer with a new keyframe, and I'm going to name this audio. And what I want to do, I'm going to lock the layer I'm not working on. I don't want to drag it into the lip syncing layer, my layer where I have my animation. I want it to be on its own layer. So I pick it up, and it feels like I should pick it up and drag it right here onto the audio layer, but you can't drag things onto layers. What you want to do is drag it anywhere onto the stage. And so when I click on that, you should see a single little orange line. That's your waveform. The problem is right now, it's not long enough to see my animation. It's only a single frame or 2 frames, so it's a 24th of a second. I need to make that longer. So I'm going to go ahead and choose both layers. I'm going to drag down to drag both my animation layer and my audio layer, or I can just do the audio layer by itself. And I'm going to press and hold down F5. F5 will extend that keyframe, and as I do that, you'll see the waveform appear as orange. And I'm just going to keep holding down F5 until I reach the end of that. And I can press Shift F5 to go back, or I can select these and right click and remove frames to get rid of them also. Now there's that. Now, because of Flash's roots as a web platform and as a game design platform, it treats audio as an event. That means that basically as soon as you start this animation, it'll start playing your audio with no regard to the frame rate. It won't tie its speed. It'll just play it as quickly as it can. It'll only play it once from the beginning. I want to be able to set it up so that it basically plays a frame of audio, in air quotes, for every frame of animation. And the way I do that is by adjusting the audio properties. So I can click anywhere along this audio on this layer, anywhere along the timeline. I'll click there and go to Properties, and you should see a sound property here. The name should be the name of the file that you have, and under Sync it says Event. Event is specifically for web and game design and things like that. I want to change Event to Stream. And when I have it streaming, now it's going to tie it specifically to the frame rate of the animation. So now when I scrub this timeline indicator, I should be able to hear it frame by frame. And if I hit enter, I can hear it in real time again.
Adventure.
And now it's set up that I can animate to that to sync it with any kind of audio that I have. So I can lock my audio layer now, unlock my layers for animation, and start animating. And if I need to hear sounds more specifically, I can just scrub through them. So right there is a sound, and I can also see it in the waveform.